Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about getting slapped or slapping for your family. Would you slap for your loved ones? Turn to your neighbor, slap on the cheek, tell them it's because in this time and in this season you've been called to protect.
Goofy.
When you got stinky breath, I will slap you. Okay. When you're looking weird, I will slap you. When your mouth fixing to say something wrong, I will slap you. And then I will walk off with my hand on my pants, okay? Like I'm a cowboy, all right?
Shut up.
So,
He did
what
not do
now?
that.
What now, son?
He did not. Did he walk off? He did walk off.
He did. He did. He did.
He kind of walked up there like a cowboy, too.
He did.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And so,
Chris Rock had no clue what was happening.
man, the way
I mean, nobody had a clue really what was
he
happening.
took that hit like a G though.
And I feel
got
like he
it.
stuck his face out for it, too, a little bit.
No, he
He was
I don't
like,
know
"What
what he
you
was
about to
expecting.
do?" What's getting ready to happen?
He took it like a G.
He was not expecting
He
that.
took it like a G. I wonder if he was thinking about back to Everybody Hates Chris and the times where he got jumped or something, and so he was like, I know
Expecting
this.
the slap.
Yeah, I remember what this was like.
He looked upset afterwards. So what are we talking about?
Rewind.
What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about the slap.
What is the slap? For somebody who doesn't know what the slap is.
Oh, okay. So if you don't know what the slap is, clearly you've been living under a rock. I'm just kidding. If you don't know what the slap is, at the Oscars on Sunday, 2 days ago from today, there was a joke happening. There was a monologue happening to introduce an Oscar for Questlove documentary film, which is a really good film if you haven't checked it out on Hulu.
It's really good.
And so he...
Side note, it's really good because we live in New York, so it's like, that's awesome to see.
Harlem,
Yeah, Harlem
and a
and
documentary
all that.
of Harlem.
It's really good.
In
Check
that
it out.
time happening at the same time. So yeah, it was a really cool documentary. And then some of the songs and the music, you get to see the people who sing them. So sometimes it's like, oh shoot, that old song is tied to this person.
Really great.
You got to see Stevie Wonder play. You know what I mean? It was good. Anyway,
What?
you got to see him
Slap.
play.
What the heck? Are you doing Stevie like that?
That is how he played.
Okay, but
And he could play the drums
being
amazingly.
dramatic.
He could play the drums amazingly. So they're introducing the nominees. And as they're getting ready to introduce the nominees, the person who introduces them for the nominees, the person who introduces the nominees is Chris Rock. And Chris Rock is a comedian, so he does a monologue. As he's doing this monologue, he is saying, pointing out different things going on in the room. So he shouts out Denzel, and then he tells a joke. At the time, not realizing that it was insensitive to Will Smith's wife. I don't even think Will Smith knew it was insensitive to his wife. Until he turned and saw her face. And so as a filmmaker, I was watching this and I was like, oh shoot, we saw the cuts happen. So the cut dynamic was interesting because it shows the joke, cuts to Will, see them enjoying it. Or I guess Will kind of, he elaborates on it a little later, but he's laughing at it in the moment. His wife did not think it was humorous. And so as a husband, have I ever been in the situation where I thought something was funny and my wife did not? Plenty of times. And what did I do? I told her to relax herself because it wasn't that big of a deal. Next time, thank you, Will, for showing me how to handle it. I am to go up and slap the mess out of them. Thank you, Faye.
You're so
Taught me a valuable
stupid.
lesson.
You're so stupid.
Taught me a valuable lesson. Can I fight? We'll find out. And so anyway, so you have this moment where Will has to defend the honor of his family, Mulan style.
Shut
And
up.
he has to go up, boom, and it was like a clean, nice slap. And that's what happened.
So he compared her, so to backtrack a little bit, he compared her to the person who was doing G.I. Jane. Again,
Yes.
I have not seen.
I was trying not to tell a joke over and over because if it's insensitive, what if one day they watch this?
I mean, I've never seen G.I. Jane
I
1 or
haven't
2,
either.
but I did look up the actress who is playing G.I. Jane, and her haircut is similar to the style of Jada Pinkett's hair right now. Jada Pinkett does have alopecia, so that's why her hair is like that.
Correct.
So it wasn't that he just slapped him for making a joke. He slapped him because it's something that their family is probably processing and
Right.
dealing with present day.
Yeah.
And so it was something. He did make a speech, and we'll let you watch that speech right now.
Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. In this time in my life, in this moment, I am overwhelmed by what God is calling on me to do and be in this world.
So I thought it was interesting because I think that he's almost in a way like apologizing and saying why he slapped him. Because I knew he knew that nobody in the room, even if you look at Lupita, that was Lupita behind him. Even if you look at Lupita, Lupita's like, what?
I mean, it definitely.
What? Like she's like.
At first, you're like, "Is this staged?" And then
Right.
after that, you're like, "Oh, it's not," because he's swearing a lot and he's
Right.
he's going in and letting them know like, "Hey, this is unacceptable."
Right.
And Lupita, you're right, is like,
What is happening? Like what is going on in front of me right now?
and I thought everyone should have got an Oscar in the room because of how they continued after all this happened.
I
Chris
think
Rock
people
should
were
have got
still
an
trying
Oscar
to.
for taking that slap.
You know what I was annoyed about too, though? Like after the Oscars, they were asking every single person what they thought about the slap.
Probably because every news outlet wanted the
Yeah.
views. They wanted to say, this is so-and-so's response. This is so-and-so's response. And so
But
it's
it's
a way
just
for
like
clickbait.
the media, though, that when, you slap a man when he's down.
You had to get that one in there.
But no, for real. Like that. He was already down. He already apologized for it. Move on. Like,
did.
because, and they asked Megan Thee Stallion what she thought about it, and she's like,
What's your reaction and where should they go from here?
They should go home. They should go home and think about it. It was crazy though. Shout out to Will.
many of the artists didn't want to deal with it. Even some people commented and was like, it took away from my friend getting an award, and you could tell people did not really understand what happened.
I mean, that is kind of a fair point because Will Smith got an Oscar last Sunday, in case you didn't know. Questlove got an Oscar, in case you didn't know, which is really awesome to think about. And so,
Yeah.
and then another thing I didn't realize is Will Packer.
I have no clue who that is.
He's a producer and a filmmaker. A lot of the old black movies that you like.
You about to call him
It's the
something
one-
else on
No,
on
it's
YouTube?
the one that he probably is the one who made them. But when I think about that, I'm like, dang, he produced this as the first black producer for the Oscars.
Mm.
So it went from
Summer of Soul.
hashtag Oscars so white. No, he didn't do that. It was hashtag Oscars so white to hashtag Oscars so
Too black.
slapped.
Too black.
Did the Oscars slap last night?
I mean, there are memes and so many jokes about it
There
because
are.
it just was like, I think that probably too was the person. Like, okay, we expect Kanye to slap somebody.
And now, if Kanye was there, what do you think would have happened?
Kanye probably would have done something like walked up to him and high-fived him or something in the moment, like something to show that he is present in the room and he saw it. So Kanye would do more of like an expressive something, but
It wouldn't have turned to a Rodney King moment with black people.
no. But I think people were just shocked, and you have people taking sides. So people have taken sides. People are like, he didn't deserve that, or he did deserve that.
Well, no. The two sides.
whatever.
These are the two sides. One is defend Will Smith, Mr. Will Smith. Second one
You
is
call him Mr. Will Smith now. Wait a second, he coming upstairs. He gonna slap you.
I know. You got to just be watching out. You know what I'm saying? Oh shoot,
Mr. Will
you never know. Shoot, I'm at home practicing this thing. Oh. No, I'm playing. Then the other side that they're
That's what
defending
Chris
is
Rock
like,
should have been practicing. He opened that face
Right, he
right
did.
up. He was like, "Where?"
he was like,
This
I
side
said it,
look
I
good.
could take it.
This side looked about right.
He looked like he didn't know what was happening. And then
But why
his
did he put
response,
his face out?
I don't know, but his
That's
response was
such,
funny
like, the
too, because he was
weirdest
like,
thing.
keep my wife's blank, blank, blank
Right,
name
he
out
said
your
it
mouth.
before
And he
he
said,
said it.
I will. And I think he was still trying to catch up with his mind because he can't
He
even
did,
announce the
because
nominees.
even after the nominees, he was
couldn't.
sitting in the back like this.
No, he wasn't. But he couldn't. But he couldn't.
He was.
He couldn't even
was
say the
like-
nominees. He was like, "A nominees are."
Yeah,
Just go ahead and say
he
the
did
nominees.
stumble for a second.
No,
'Cause I
they
think-
played a video, so he couldn't even say them.
But I'm just saying he stumbled for a second when he had to. After he said he slapped him, he was like like he was trying to get himself together.
Typically, though, for an event like that, I think you would have to sign off on everything being said. It's not a freestyle kind of night because they want to keep it condensed.
Right.
Except for the people who do speeches, right?
I
The
mean, but
speeches
how
are the
can
most
they?
unpredictable.
How can they when you just got slapped?
But I also want to know, like, who was looking at Chris Rock's monologue and they were like, that's a good joke. That's G.I. Jane. You're hitting it on the head with that one.
Right.
So
'Cause
whoever
that person
signed off,
needs to be-
yeah. So Will, the next person on your slap tour is whoever signed off on that sheet, okay? Because that clearly,
That's true.
clearly. And then there's
True.
a list of people. I can give you the whole list if you want to see
It's
me.
true. It's true.
Hit my email.
Because that person doesn't need to be slapped. They put that on there. He doing a slap tour.
Are they apologizing to Chris Rock right now? Like, I'm so sorry. I know, like,
Sure.
I saw it and I didn't say nothing, but I knew something deep down in the back of my head. As a matter of fact, you can slap me just because he slapped you. Go ahead. And I gotta take it like you took it, so they gotta
He
say.
said, "No, put your face out."
Right. Extend your neck. Extend that neck. Oh man, but
Oh, that was the stupidest thing ever. Like I was watching it, like, what the heck? I think I did not expect Will to do it. Okay, this video is becoming way
It
too
is.
long because it's
It
way
is.
too funny. But listen, why is that important to us? In
yeah,
our
why do
family?
we? I was spending a lot of time bringing it up
To
to
the
my wife
point
yesterday.
of
I found it on Facebook,
our
and I
family.
saw comments on Facebook, and I was like, "Ooh, let me wait and watch this with my wife. Next time, I'll try to save stuff to have an initial reaction for you guys."
Mm-hmm.
But when we watched it, my wife was like, "Dang, this seems to be heavy on your mind." And I think what was interesting was
Because he was watching like slaps from a different angle. It was like the craziest. It was like,
there was really one angle I was watching it. And I thought it
Why?
was a few things.
why are you
One,
doing this?
I was watching and I was like shocked because I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting these two guys,
Right.
this to happen between these two. Like there a few things. It's 2022, so certain things just shouldn't be happening. It's 2022, why is your breath still stink? You know what I mean? It's 2022. Why is it that like certain things we have access to that you aren't taking advantage of, and we have social media and all that stuff, so you should be able to look for the answer online if you can't find it. And if you can't find it online, you should find a group to discuss with, the church, all that stuff, right? But anyway, so I was shocked because I was like, dang, like I wouldn't expect this from like two grown men. One of the things that my wife brought up that was interesting was like, in his acceptance speech, he brings up the idea of protecting his family.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm called to do this. And I'm like, is that the excuse I could use anytime? Like, what if when she's delivering her baby, I'm not satisfied with the service? Our baby, I'm sorry.
Dang.
So yeah, that was disrespectful.
Dang.
When she's delivering our baby and I'm not satisfied with the nurse or the doctor, and I like slap them, and then after the baby's here, I give my acceptance
Slap him
speech.
like that.
Like, I felt like he like
cocked back though. Okay,
He did.
focus. Sorry.
Okay, so
'Cause
anyway.
I'm like picturing it in my head, and he's like.
So anyway, he so as she was bringing that point up, I was like, can I use that as an excuse? Can I use that as an excuse? No, I can't, right? So I was thinking about that, and I was a little, I guess part of me is like shocked, a little, I don't know that I would say disappointed, but I think I was just like, wow, that was really, I don't know, just shocking to see.
How else do you feel about it?
I feel like I got the
Is it shocking?
the taste slapped out my mouth. Is that no, I'm kidding. And so
You have more jokes than you have.
I do. So I think that I was just like, dang, and then I'm always thinking about like jokes and responses.
But what do you think about protecting the family? Like, do you think that as a man,
Part of
you
me looked
find
at that as
yourself-
like, there's a classy way and then there's a snazzy way. No, I don't know that I would go to So a few things. I don't know that I would see that at any other cultural event if someone had beef with somebody. But I also know in the past, typically, like in our culture, whenever they were setting up for events and different things, sometimes they would have to have people who were there who were like, hey, these two people have beef. This group is with the Bloods, this group is with the Crips. So they would separate them at a award show. That really would happen. Seriously.
Okay,
So there
not
would
in
be
your
someone
world,
on the
but-
task. No, but when I was like watching
think-
it back and studying it, so I think that like for me it was something where I was like, as someone protecting, as a husband, as a father now getting ready to have more people to protect. Looking at that, I think I would have to, because I have a young kid. He has older children now, so he's in a different ballgame. But because I have a young kid, because if my son ever looked me up online, if that was the first thing that he would have seen of me, I think I would have been like, dang, there's a better way to handle it.
So I think watching the interaction, I was wondering the whole time kind of like, what was Jada feeling? Like, what was she experiencing? What were the women in the room experiencing? Because I know as a woman it's important to feel protected by our man. That's hugely important. And so I think that if I could ask anybody how they felt about it, I'd probably ask Jada. Well, you were asking me something a little earlier. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, would you rather be protected or humiliated?
Well, I wasn't humiliated. I'm just kidding. Would I rather be protected or humiliated?
You're saying Chris was humiliated?
Yeah, I think Chris was more humiliated. I mean, both of them were humiliated. I'm sure they wish they both can take it back and do some things differently. But I think in that moment, protection was more important. And that's just, like, again, as a woman, my perspective. Protection was most important.
But I think, to be honest, I think it would have been more powerful. And then you're speaking as a woman, so I get that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it might have been more powerful to, like, pull him to the side after. Say, hey, Chris, like, the last joke you did at the last Oscars in 2016 wasn't cool. This time it wasn't cool. So, like, I really need you to cut that joke out. Like, it's not cool to my wife. I don't know if you know, but this is what's going on. Because then it would have been powerful to have Chris just out of the blue be like, hey, last night I made a joke about something that was offensive, and I apologized to her. And
Yeah.
that would have seemed more like a power move, I think.
Yeah, I think different people have different perspectives on it, honestly.
You
'cause-
would have liked to see me go up there and slap him.
No, I'd probably not slap him, but, like,
What would you
address it. Like, I think he
In the
did
room?
it. Yeah, I think because, like you said, rewind, he made a similar joke about Jada in 2016 at the Oscars live in front of people. So it's like, why you keep coming for my family and why you keep coming for my wife? Like, what is this? That, you know, that we probably should have resolved between 2016 and 2022.
True.
But it's almost like you do it privately. I mean, and yes, a wise man will put him away privately. That's great. Great stuff. Awesome stuff. And it's like, if you're doing this publicly, I need to address you publicly.
Well,
So-
I would make him address publicly that he was wrong.
But you can't make nobody do nothing.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't. So that's what I'm saying. So I can have this conversation with you privately behind closed doors. And some artists have said that. Todd Delaney said, you know, checkmate, should have brought him in the room or something, whatever. But, like, you could do that
That was
privately, but then the onus is on him as a man to then come back and say, hey, I did this thing last night that was unacceptable. By that time, people have moved on.
So it doesn't matter. Like, I think for me, is it important for everyone in the room to see me defend you? I mean, so now let's think about the responses
Right.
or the consequences of this. From now on, people will probably keep Jada's name out there now.
I mean, hey.
Because they don't know. Will could pop up. Smack! You know what I mean? Just popping up out of nowhere. I don't know if I was hitting that clip, but yeah, so you don't know where he's popping up to slap you. So I guess that now is the response going forward, is that most, if not no, people. But then, like, every rapper is going to have a song about this now. Don't make me will you, Chris. So something like that. They'll have like that. SNL is going to have something.
That's not like a G Unit situation.
Yeah, but they're going to find a way. I know that SNL is going to have something. I know that.
Sure will.
It's a whole bunch of online skits.
Keep
yeah, it's just going to
People have already started doing stuff.
And it's honestly, it has been funny. I hope that they find the joy or laughter in the moment, because I know right now it's probably like, dang, that was foolish or messed up, and hopefully you're not hiding. But I do want to let you know that even though that happened, it's not the worst. You know that things can't always get better. Why are you laughing? I'm trying to encourage Will Smith.
You're trying to encourage Chris's face.
I'm trying to encourage you, Chris. Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. Right here, man to man. Let me tell you something. All right, just because your joke landed you a slap does not mean. Fill in the blank, okay? Because I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it can land you a slap again, so be careful.
It can land you a slap again.
I don't know. See, I'm a little hood in my response, but I literally think that like you don't know what people are dealing with day to day. And Will made a good comment about like how to survive in the industry in that way, you have to be able to take disrespect over and over and over again. And he didn't just pop up in the industry, so he's not just new taking on disrespect. He's been around for a while. Chris has been around for a while. So he's like, at this point, I'm tired of having this mask on that I should just be able to take it and laugh at it and act like things are okay. No, you're going to see that it's not okay.
Right. And you know something? Chadwick Boseman.
I was like, who are you talking about?
Chadwick Boseman died from colon cancer, and I remember right before he passed away from it, and I'm not trying to say it insensitively, but he passed away from it, and right before he did, a lot of people were talking about him losing weight and all these things and looking skinny and all that stuff. And I guess you don't realize, like you said, what people are going through at home in their private life. And while they share a lot of what their life is or what they're experiencing online or through social media or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have things that they're keeping close to the heart or to the chest. And so I think that it's tough because on the other hand, as comedians, like, you think about your ability to free speech, say whatever you want.
It's true.
But you also got the freedom to get slapped.
It's true.
You know, so
You're still a human at the end of the day.
You are, and people experience emotions, and words can cut, especially the ones that aren't resolved or dealt with.
So we hope you enjoyed our video on our reaction to it and kind of like what that looks like in a family context. And we hope that you join us back here again next week for more conversation and discussion about family business. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.